Hi, Nicholas Kokal is one of the two founders of Pi Network, which is a layer 1 blockchain protocol. And it has the special property that every single account on the blockchain is already KYC'd. So I think to answer your question, I also want to step back a little bit and say that it depends on the purpose. So in some cases, you need to know who exactly the person is. Like if someone goes to the bank and wants to withdraw money, you really need to know who exactly the person is. In other cases, you need to know whether what's the act of that is being conducted, whether it's happening by a human or a bot.
Yeah.
And in other cases, you want to know whether there are unique people behind a situation. So, like for example, if you had ratings on an online system, you don't want to allocate 1,000 ratings, 1,000 different product reviews to one act who created 1,000 bots. You want to give more fairness, everyone's voice.
Just one more question, I guess, on foundational. The second part of this title is not doxing yourself. When we talk about that, are we saying, I doubt it's that people necessarily need to be completely anon on the internet, or is it more kind of about wanting personal control over your data, having the option of selective disclosure? How do you draw that line in terms of what is not doxing yourself?
Yeah, I will echo that. And I want to say that when people are thinking of not doxing your identity, especially in a crypto conference, their mind immediately goes into ZK proofs, such as advanced techniques like ZK snarks, starks, and bulletproofs, and things like that. But even though these techniques are a little more advanced, you need to mathematically convert your problem into a formula and then polynomial computations and other things. But in practice, you can have zero knowledge with existing primitives we all know and understand. Let me give you a very quick example. So imagine in the traditional world, you want to buy alcohol. So you go to the store. What you do is you give your driving license, and you are essentially showing all of your data for no reason, because all they need to know is whether you're above 21 or not. And instead, they're getting your home address, your date of birth, everything. Now, if you were to do this in a zero knowledge way, you could actually have a KYC authority, let's say the Pi KYC authority, and that authority can provide you a statement. You are more than 21, above 21 years old, and give you the cryptographic signature of that statement, together with for example, your Face ID data. And then all you need to do is you need to provide that statement, and the recipient can check whether the signature is coming from the trusted third party in this case, and you've already proven that you are above 21 without delivering more information that's necessary.
Something that came up in our prep call, if I may say, was a hint of frustration that whenever a new emerging tech comes out, whether it's crypto, whether it's AI, it feels like we're reinventing the wheel and starting from scratch on identity. So why is that, and how are you putting these people back in their place?
I think in practical terms, it makes more sense to store attestation or logs of whether something happened or not on blockchain rather than the actual KYC data.
And that's the approaches that they're taking now.
Yes. So because in some cases for regulation, you need to prove that you actually check the ID of someone. So you can have that attestation, store it on blockchain, make it publicly accessible anytime, but not the actual ID.
Yeah.
But I think it's like this, regardless of what other industry. If you back up like 30 years between our, or 20 years before our passports had chips in them, right? That was also something that the industry had to coincide with folks working on identity. You were there.
I was there, and it only took 10 years for the U.S. border people to actually start checking the chips. But let's not talk about that. So.
Wow.
But there's actually another aspect as well, which is kind of like forcing the industry to reinvent the wheel in a justified way, which is the whole agentic AI. So before that, it was very easy to make assumptions between who is a bot and who is a human, because humans had very different behavior compared to bots. Therefore, you had systems like CAPTCHA and other things that you could safely, more or less, assume that only a human could answer and proceed certain checks. But now, with agents becoming more and more human-like, and the fact that an agent can be replicated to a million agents concurrently running, it creates new challenges for identity that we need to see as a community. So, especially, that was also one of our core principles why we started having fundamental identity KYC verification on the Pi blockchain, because each individual, for example, can have their own primary identity and can run multiple agents if they want. But if the agents are carrying their identity and they are essentially attributing to the original user the behavior, then that's some realistic, good case scenario. The bad case is when the agents are pretending to be humans themselves. But that's why the society needs to add some kinds of checks and balances for this problem in the future.
So, sorry, I'm taking a tangent here.
Go for it.
I think it's interesting, so you must think it's interesting. What was the original proof of human test? So today we're talking biometrics, attestations on chain. That didn't exist in the 70s, mainframes, right? So how did you prove you were a human? It's password. Password is actually proof of human. Once passwords became not useful anymore very quickly, what was the next proof of human? Well, your physical, what were they called? I can't even remember the name. The token cards with the changing numbers. There's some people that are old enough to have had several of these.
The old 2FAs.
RSA 2FAs, yeah. So 2FAs. So first it was knowledge-based. That's how you prove you're human, because only people can remember things, right?
Yep.
Secrets. Then it was what you have, the physical token. Until everyone realized that everyone loses physical tokens and synchronization and batteries and all that stuff. So now, my opinion, working for a biometrics company, obviously, the way you prove you're a human is through biometrics and liveness.
Until deepfake comes in. And
No. This is the answer.
Well, let's go deeper into this, because I think each of you have very interesting use cases to share in terms of how you're actually doing this. It's a deceptively simple question, right? Like, at the core of this, we're just trying to figure out, how do you reliably link a real human to a digital identity or a cryptographic key without exposing massive security or privacy issues?
I think 3 themes that would be really great for everybody to look into.
And also with Pi networks, of course, you've got the attestation, which is a signal of proof of documentary evidence of identity as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. So in the end of the day, all these cryptographic techniques and all these protections are absolutely necessary on the back end. And what we need to do on the front end, on the system designer's perspective, is we need to create the user experience and the user interface such that people can actually use those systems. Because in the end of the day, if you have a very sophisticated, foolproof system, but people can't use it, or they lose their keys and they completely get locked out, there's no way to recover, then it becomes not as useful as we wanted it to be. People end up not using it, and people end up falling back into very primitive
What's
forms.
your password?
What is the last 4 of your social security number? Types of verifications. So we're big on user experience.
A bit of a disconnect between theory and real-world applications. Yeah. We're going to run out of time, but let's do a quick rapid-fire round. If we are lucky enough to find ourselves back here on this stage all together in 2 years, what progress do you hope the industry has made in terms of proving we're human without doxing ourselves?
I'll start. I will be an AI agent because I'll be not traveling anymore because jet fuel will be too expensive. Sorry, were you expecting that answer?
I wasn't, but I'd want to be able to make sure that I can prove that the AI agent is actually acting on behalf of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Distinguish between Sybil attacks and people being actually able to use agents to empower themselves. So you want your agent to be able to access all these resources online and report to those resources who they represent, so that they can do your work, while at the same time those different services are not bombarded by fake pretending to be human beings.
Yeah. So I'm going to be a doomsayer.
Love it.
There is going to be a major hack. There is going to be a major leakage of identity. Your grandmother is going to be using an agent, and it's going to be horrible.
I really wish it didn't have to be that way, but if we look at history, that is usually how things start to change. Something awful has to happen first. So, I mean, you heard it here. Don't say you weren't warned. Thank you for an amazing panel, guys. I look forward to seeing you in 2 years to find out how it's all going.